You look fantastic. You mentioned you're 65. I can't believe it. It's ridiculous.
I'm 65. I was born in 1951.
Good grief. But you look great. So how is that? How do you manage that? Are you just lucky?
Vanity.
Yeah?
Aye. And a bit of discipline. I still do a bit of yoga. And I do my gig, you know. I mean, it's a pretty athletic job I do.
No,
so,
absolutely. Absolutely.
And I don't want to be a fat rock star.
No, nobody
it's
likes
not a good
that.
look.
Nobody likes that. It's not so good. I know you worked with the Police before, and have you said, was that last tour with the Police kind of goodbye to that, do you think?
I think we closed the circle.
Yeah,
you know?
but I love, you did that in a really good way, I think.
Yeah, it was
good.
great. You know, I waited 20 years before we got back together. But yeah, we did it.
Cracking tunes.
They're cracking tunes.
Cracking tunes that will stand the test of time.
Still cracking tunes.
They absolutely are. And your music means such a lot to so many people. I mean, President Obama works out to your tunes.
He does. Actually, the first time I met him, he said that. He said, "You're on my mixtape." And I said, "Mr. President, with all due respect, I'm sure you say that to everyone." He said, "Michelle, who's on my mixtape?" And she said, "You are."
Oh, and we can still call him President Obama for a little while longer, thank goodness.
I'm not sure I'm on Donald Trump's mixtape. I hope I'm not anyway.
I don't think you will be. The new album, it's interesting that you would go into the studio and it was kind of quite organic. You know, you didn't have so, like, you know, sometimes I guess you would go in and you know exactly what you're going to do, but it seemed much more organic and creative in that sense.
Bit of a control freak. You know. Normally I'm very, very well prepared. I've written the songs already. I went into the studio, I said to the band, who I've worked with for 30 years, I said, "Guys, I've got nothing. Let's just play musical ping pong. You know, we throw a few ideas around, improvise, and somehow music materializes in front of you, and then my job is to structure it into the shape of a song. And then I take that home and I try and figure out what the narrative is telling me, the musical narrative is telling me. It's always got a story. I would go out on my terrace in New York in the freezing cold, absolutely freezing cold, with a coat and a cup of coffee, and not allow myself back in the apartment until I'd finished the lyric. It was kind of weird, but it worked.
I must ask you about the concert at the weekend, because that must have been really, really emotional, because I know how you connect with your audience, and that must have been a tough one.
It wasn't the easiest gig of my life. It was quite difficult to reconcile two different things. One, I had to honour and respect the people who died there a year ago. Their families were there. There was a mother holding a picture of a child who had been killed. There were some survivors there. And on the other hand, I was there to celebrate this one historic musical theatre that I played at in '79. And I said, let's have a minute's silence, which was very intense. It was like a very profound meditation. It was more than just an absence of noise. There was something very profound going on. And then I sang a song called Fragile, a song of mine, which kind of fitted the bill. You know, it's very specifically about the fragility of human beings and violence and whatever. And that began quietly, and then people started to relax, and we started to, you know, do one of our normal shows. And by the end of the night, everybody was happy, so that's good. As they could be.
It's been a tough old year, hasn't it, 2016? We've lost an awful lot of people. I mean, David Bowie at the start of the year, which I still can't quite come to terms with.
No one can. You see, our cultural icons, we think of them as being immortal.
Totally, yeah.
And, you know, it's not rational, but even me, there's a child in me that thinks that Prince is immortal, yep. David Bowie's immortal.
You must be very, very proud of your daughter. She's doing incredibly well, isn't she?
Elliot.
A chip off the old block.
Elliot is doing very well. You know, and I recognise 50% of it. It's my DNA, but the other 50%, I can't take any credit for, and she's amazing.
But you've brought up your kids really well, and also not to expect the fact that they're going to be really rich. You know, they have to actually work.
I wouldn't want to rob them of that privilege of making your own way in the world. You know, that sense of achievement that you get when you actually do make your own way in the world. So they all work like Trojans, work really hard. But, you know, I paid for their education and the shoes on their feet. And they're pretty well-balanced kids. So, in fact, very.
That's a really good attitude to have. Trudy works hard.
She's working tonight at Buckingham Palace.
Right.
She's doing a performance with some musicians of Mozart, where she reads the letters of Mozart's sister-in-law about his death, apparently very sad. So after this, I'm going to go down, put my bow tie on, and go to the palace.
Although
if they let me in.
I'm sure they will let you in. I think you'll be fine. But I suspect that you're more comfortable in this garb. And this is very
I'm not going to go in this. No, I've got a dinner jacket.
No, you have to put that on. Yeah. But normally this is you.
This is me normally.
With these fabulous shoes.
These incredible shoes.
Those shoes are amazing. I really like them.
You like them?
You're never going to retire, are you? You're going to keep on making music, and you're going to keep on performing.
I have no idea what to do if I retire. I think it takes a lot of preparation. I think a lot of people retire and they just pop off, you know, because they haven't prepared. So I'm going to keep singing until I'm too stupid and old to do it. I like work. I love the privilege of work. It's fantastic to work. You know, I walk out on stage in front of, 10,000 people every night, 20,000, and they're all pretty pleased to see me. I mean, it's...
Well, they paid good money.
Extravagant amounts of money. That's hard to give up.
I'll bet it is. Please don't ever. And it's so brilliant to see you. Thank you so, so much.
Lovely to talk to you.
If you'd like to see even more great guests, then click here. There are plenty more fantastic interviews to come, so make sure that you subscribe.